Where we dropping, everyone? A casual question shouted out almost every game to get the attention of the squad away from Twitter and the ever-encroaching seagulls outside. Most of the time this just ends up with me and my squad dropping in downtown, since it's pretty central and good for moving with the circle, and is usually not too far away from the flight path of the plane. Most importantly, we know where the loot is, and the layout of most of the buildings. But when you're in Plunder, centrality on the map doesn't really matter. What matters is just pure cash. So where should you drop to maximise your cash? Well, here's a map that I pulled from genie.io, which has the ability to show all kinds of information about the map, but I've filtered it down to just loot tiers, cash extractions and bunkers. We can see the north of the map is a little barren compared to the central and southern regions. The north of Verdansk only looks comparatively bad because there aren't as many points of interest in that area of the map. Like if you drop to the dam, you've got quite the trek to the next area. Whereas if you drop Storage Town, for example, you've got Superstore and Boneyard in walking distance. Well, it actually sounds like I'm trying to sell the area to you. Oh, the local schools are great. The crime rate is unfortunately extremely high though. Local amenities are pretty good, but you will need a loadout to enjoy them. Really, this map tells us that downtown, TV station and train station are some of the best areas to drop. The verticality and density of these areas means there will just be more loot spawning there, and they're all near cash extraction areas, so you can bank it too. But you guys didn't need me to tell you that, I bet. Instinctively, these areas feel pretty good. Other areas that can be incredibly fruitful are bunkers. They famously have lots of loot in them, and by going to them straight away, it's a surefire way to become a top earner and bring attention to yourself, which is actually a good thing if you can get out there and set up in an area to defend yourself. Ideally, you should get a chopper or a land vehicle to make the exit as smooth as possible. The bunkers that you access with a key code, along with the actual key codes, are here, whilst the other bunkers that you can only access with the red access keycard are here. Of course, you just have to get lucky with the access keycards though. So we know where the loot is, sure, but loot density and rarity isn't the only thing that contributes to an area being the best place to drop. If everyone else on the map is dropping in these areas, then we're going to struggle to get the loot. So where should you choose? Well, the first thing to know is you need a bit of luck. You can never fully predict perfect areas to drop in terms of your opponents, but I'd recommend somewhere like the airport, downtown or the train station. These areas are mid to high areas in terms of loot density, but most importantly, you can actually defend yourself when you've earned cash and become targeted. For example, I love Storage Town, but having people flying down with their loadout already on is really hard to defend against because it's such a basic layout. These suggested areas, particularly downtown, will be contested, but to be honest, it's probably worth the risk. That's what this whole thing is, it's risk versus reward. Now in my experience, airport is usually quiet and has a lot of loot available, and is pretty close to other dense areas if something does go wrong there. So in terms of that risk to reward, I'd say the airport is right up there, as there's often just quite limited risk. It is well worth checking out the bunkers though, ideally not the one just outside the prison, as that always seems rammed for some reason. When you drop there, you're either going to be loaded straight away, or be in a big battle there, which can actually be kind of fun. And right at the start of the game, it's not going to damage your chances of winning too much if you die. A note on spawning back in though, check your minimap to see what areas of the map have a lot of contracts left in them. Generally, this will mean the area has hardly been touched, and you can swoop over and loot it up big time. So that's nearly everything, but I just thought I'd leave you with my main advice, which is to choose an area you like, which is, kind of medium to high density of loot, and get to love this area. Become the masters of the environment in this area. Get to know every nook and cranny, every loot box, every stairwell. This provides you and your squad with essentially a home ground to have your battles on. If you know certain areas are good for loot, and you can protect yourself well, when you become a targeted high earner on the map, you're onto a winner. That's essentially what I've done with Downtown, and doing this increases your average success over a set of games, no question. That's all for this video. If you've got a second, please give it a quick like, and if you haven't subscribed already, join us for more Call of Duty videos. Bye for now.